Here. Okay, good. Welcome everyone. Akasha here. Welcome to BlissLife Global Healing Podcast Series on energy medicine. And we're continuing for a few weeks doing some live healings. So today, Lisa Wilson, which was one of our speakers, so make sure you check out her talk that we did. She is a transformational coach and from, is it Authentically Radically You?
Radically Authentic You.
There you go. Radically Authentic You, which I love. And boy, do we need that right now, right? So I think I need to lift this up. That's the problem. I'm staring down. Give me a second. I have to have my honey bunny rescue me with this computer. There we go. That's a little bit better. So I feel like I should be a little further away. And so what we're going to do today is interact with you as much as you would like. I know that I used to do lots and lots of live things, and when my community really got used to it, there were so many people who wanted to speak up and ask questions and share. We couldn't even get to them all. And so on the healing we did 2 days ago, we had an incredible chakra healing. I guided the meditation, and then Reese did the chakra crystal bowls. And then he did specific ones, and you tuned in, and he helped interpret that. And so we had a few people share, but please right now start introducing yourself in the chat window, or say hi, or share, or ask for something that you want. You can put the intention in even if we don't see the chat window right away. And you don't have to if you don't want to. So right now, everybody's muted. And at some point, we'll ask you if you'd like to share. If you have any questions, you can unmute or put in the chat window, and we'll read those. And what's fun about being here live is not only can you interact with us and ask us questions or share, especially after the healing, if you share your experience, you can get some really great feedback. So that's a lot of fun. And you don't have to be on screen if you don't want to. I know I was talking with my daughter last night, and I said, I never believed I would ever be on a video phone chat. You know, when we heard about it a long time ago, I was like, yeah, right. I'm not combing my hair to get on the phone, you know? And now I can see it. Oh, they're going in and out. Ooh, look at the light. Ah. This is the first time I've used the background, so we're having fun with it. And then what we'll do is I'm going to guide us into the Infinity Healing Chamber. And each one of these live healings over this week and next, I'm going to keep guiding you into the chamber. This is something that we use in my classes, in my Light Body School, Infinity Light Weaving, and it creates a sacred space. So it's already been created before you got on the call. It's sort of like you came into a building, you came into a space, but I'll walk you through it and I'll connect you to it. This way you can start to feel it. You might be sensing already a gold ray above and below you. You might be feeling that you're inside of an all-seeing eye, or just in a space of peace and equality. I'm really got to get closer, I think. And then we have all around us a sphere of the flower of life. Now, if you're not familiar with the flower of life, it's a pattern, looks like a flower. It's a sacred geometrical pattern that holds every other sacred geometrical pattern. Everything from a cube and a circle to the very, the void, the circle, the two circles, the Vesica Pisces, it's all in there. And so what it is it becomes a sphere, and it encompasses us, and then we activate to infinity. Infinity is like 0 point. It's absolute equality, balance. There's no pressure. There's no the heaviness of our emotions and our pains and struggles are lightened, and things move more easily. So I want to welcome you to the Infinity Healing Chamber. And tomorrow I'll be doing a full moon live healing. So make sure you come to that. And I'll do live readings as well at the end of it. And so what I want you to do is relax while you're here, especially because of a wonderful topic that Lisa's picked for us. And so I know it was longer, but we had living with ease, grace, and flow. And boy, do we need that now, right? Right in the middle of the breakdown. And breakdowns are wonderful. I always tell my students breakdown is as good as a breakthrough, and it leads to a breakthrough. Things have to deconstruct in order to change or to grow. And when we ask for more money, a better relationship, a hotter body, a happier a personality, a happier mood every day, whatever it is that you really desire, you have to realize that your energy is at a state and it can raise up. I think I just felt some water. And I lost my train of thought. When you, yeah, so when you have something you want, things don't stay the same, right? When you want something different, that means things change in your life, because you can't take all your baggage, your old beliefs, the old ways of being, the old ways of thinking, some of the relationships you're in, you know, maybe your job is ready to go. Maybe your job went and you're trying to figure out, what the hell do I do now, right? And so the real key is that when you, I hesitate to say trust the process, because for many years that was not something I could fall into. I would prefer to just accept what is. I don't even have to like it. But if I accept it, doesn't mean I choose it or condone it or want more of it. I just go, oh, look, we're doing anger and violence right now. Okay. And then I look for the deeper meaning. What does that mean? Well, that means some shit's falling apart, right? And people are exploding with their emotions. They're not masters of their emotions. They're not saying, okay, we're in a breakdown now. Look, I'm feeling anger. I think I'll sit with it for a while and come into harmony, right? So we're seeing this explosion, and this is not just in one place. This is around the globe, and this is within the planet, and this is part of the energetic breakdown that's happening for us. So I want to introduce Lisa, and she's going to go ahead and talk to you about what's happening now, whatever you want to talk about, Lisa, but about the idea of living in love and ease and grace and flow, even when there's shit falling apart around you, even when you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, even though you feel like you have no sense of security or certainty. And I really want to invite you to embrace that, because that's the world we're moving into. The idea that we plan everything and force everything to happen and work 50,000 hours, those ways are gone. And we're moving into, the key is to raise your frequency, raise your state, raise your consciousness, raise your mood, and get into the flow. So thank you so much for being here, Lisa. I'm so excited to play.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Oh,
Great.
good. Just want to say I was feeling into your energy and so happy to be here with you. Thank you for inviting me on your show. And with all of you, I'm so grateful. This is a very auspicious time for all of us. We are definitely going through transformation, and everything is energy. And I think when we can recognize that that is the way we want to flow with our lives, is by feeling into the energy. There's a lot taking place on the planet right now that is so intense. And we could spin into the density of it if we are not aware, or if we're just being impacted, if we're spending too much time focusing outward instead of inward. So I think right now, this time for me, and the way I see it, and you explained this so clearly and beautifully, is we're not pushing, we're not in the masculine energy any longer of pushing to make things happen. We are in the divine feminine of flow, and really aligning our vibrational frequency, our energy center, to match a higher vibrational frequency of flow, ease, and grace. And when we do that, life will transform for us in a way that supports us up spiral. We don't have to figure it out. We don't have to have all the answers and all the details. But if we spend time in the density, in the fear programming of the energy of fear and anger, that creates that vibrational frequency, and then we'll bring it in a match to experience it in our outer life. So right now, the way I see it is, leading up into this time on earth, we were given a lot of freedom to play with energy, and not so much any longer. It's a pretty, we got to get it together. So discipline is the key to your freedom. When we are disciplined within our own being, taking care of our side of the street, really recognizing how we operate in the world from an energetic place. So it's so important to find a routine that supports your flow, because your life will magnetize it to you pretty quickly these days. Pretty quickly.
Definitely. Yeah, things happen very quickly. That means things that are ready to go out of your life may fall apart very fast.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean it's bad, right? Our old programming and conditioning of, oh no, I'm a failure. Oh no, that's gone now. Oh no, I have no security. This is what we're being asked to shed, because the deeper you go into your pain or your darkness or your, shame, guilt, fear, anger, depression, grief, whatever low emotion, because we all have those attachments to those things that drag us down there. But if you go in, like I said, instead of living there, you just accept it. You'll start to rise up. Now, I want to, just because of what's happening specifically right now, let me see if I can fix that. Let's see, dings and dongs. Oh, I know what's happening. Did you hear that, you guys? Did you hear that bell?
Yeah, I heard it softly,
okay.
though.
All right, I think it's because it's not my computer. So let me see if I can. There we go. Do not disturb. Thank you. Oh dear, now I don't know where you went. He's got the weirdest computer setup. Yay, I did it. I just wanted to say hi. Let's see, we've got Nancy from Southern California, and thank you for your offering, PK. Thank you. Hi, Rio. Everyone, I'm in Fort Lauderdale. Greater clarity with life direction and purpose. Okay, sounds really good. So because we're in this really weird moment, right? And we are experiencing a lot of violence and anger, and we want to recognize that that's an energy. It's not necessarily a bad energy, but it's an energy that can be very destructive, and it's an energy that can be channeled in unproductive ways. And I've seen some conversations happening right now because people are looking to have an argument. And so one of the things, as we begin to go into the healing, as we go into the healing chamber, as Lisa guides us through going into grace and ease and flow, I want you to relax completely, because hanging on to your anger, hanging on to blame, big one right now, blame is guilt. Okay, that's the emotional state of the state of guilt. And it's the second lowest emotion you can exist in and be in a body. There's no energy there. Now, if you go up to anger, there's a lot of energy. So what's happening is actually people are working up the scale. We want to go through anger as quickly as possible, up at least to courage or trust or inspiration or willingness. You don't have to go all the way up to I'm in peace and I love it. It's probably not the place to stay in all the time right now. And I want to invite you to not react. What I'm seeing people do is judge and react and criticize and reach out because they're like, oh, well, my partner is reading a book, just happened to be reading this book called Nonviolent Communication. It's been around a long time. There's people trained in it. It's quite phenomenal. I don't know why it's not required for people and for the government. It doesn't say don't speak up. It doesn't say stay quiet and let things happen that aren't right. It says if you communicate in a certain way, you'll be heard. The other person you'll come to a level where you are actually connecting and change can happen. And we have to remember Gandhi. He used nonviolence and freed an entire nation of people from an empire. And so it doesn't mean when you say, what I've been saying is please accept your feelings. But pull out from being plugged into that person did this and this person did that and they should be punished and this should happen and the violence is good, the violence is bad, the violence is orchestrated, the violence isn't orchestrated, whatever it is. Pull yourself back in, unplug from the crazy town going on, because it's just chaos. There's no truth. You don't know who's telling the truth or what. All that matters is you and your energy. If you are angry and feeling, I'll go into grief and sadness, and I'll have to exist in it at least a few minutes, touch bottom and come back up, to accept it and move up. It doesn't mean I have to just pretend it's not there. It doesn't mean that I have to shut up and not speak up or do something that matters. But what's happening is that the violence is now giving the movement and the truth and the really big opportunity to make some real changes that have to happen. It's getting overcast by the anger and the violence. So that has to settle out. Now people are saying, well, let people feel their emotions. I'm just telling you to accept your emotions and to feel them, but to walk through them. Don't pick them up, carry them around, think about them all day, roll them in your belly, talk to people about them, post them on Facebook, okay? Pull it in, because right now what we need, everyone personally and globally, is everybody to get control of these emotions. And again, that doesn't mean suppress them. That means relax, accept where you are, maybe feel it, maybe cry, maybe write a little bit, maybe go outside and yell, whatever, and then raise up to a power state of at least courage or willingness, because now you're clearer, and what the energy you're adding is not inflaming, and there can be some clarity. So I would like to see us injecting ease, grace, flow, acceptance, compassion, understanding, and inject it into our lives and our bodies and out into the world right now, so that the real message, the real changes that need to happen right now, because there's a lot of them that have to happen, and people need to be heard, but they can't be heard during violence and anger. And so don't judge other people, pull that in and be as much love or grace or just hope. Even if that's the best state you can get to, it's better, because we know what happens. You throw anger on anger and you get a bonfire, right? And so we're really having an opportunity now to, like Lisa said, grow up, own our energy fields, and understand that we don't have the luxury of rolling around in our self-pity and our anger and our grief and our fear forever anymore, because that's what we're giving to the world. What are you giving the minute you wake up? What are you giving when you fall asleep? What are you thinking about? What are your words? What are your thoughts? What energy are you sending when you look at something, when you touch? Whatever you're doing, you are emitting energy. So you don't have to be up in peace and be in the Buddha all the time. You need to honor, respect, and accept the way you feel, but let it then move through you. And you can then, oh, okay, now I can at least hold a space of acceptance for everybody who feels like they need to be heard, or everybody who's exploding with anger and they don't have the luxury of something like this to help them. Okay, all right, so good. So Lisa, tell us for a minute a little bit about your background and your website.
Sure, thank you. My website is radicallyauthenticview.com. And I've been a transformational leader for many, many years, over 25 years, working with clients to change our vibrational frequency, to clean up our energetic field so that we can really align ourselves to the life that we've come here to live. When we can recognize that we are energy and everything is energy, and by managing and maintaining our energetic field, we will change our outer life circumstances. We will shift the chaos that's taking place on the earth by managing it within ourselves. And everything starts with the self, and it's all a mirror of ourself to some degree. So when anger is presenting out onto the global stage, I invite everybody to look within at their own self, their own side of the street, their own playing, way that they play on this field, and say, where in me am I angry? Where do I hold anger? Where in my system is this presenting? And when we can love all aspects, and it's like you were saying, to just allow the emotions to move through the system and not get pent up. It might not be the same thing. It will definitely look different for each one of us, but the energy vibrational match is the same. And when we clean it up within ourselves, if we're getting angry about a situation, or we're in fear about something taking place, that is going to present outwardly, and we're going to see it express itself in our outer life experience. So I think that this time on earth is as challenging as it is for all of us, and it is. We're having to really fine tune with ourselves, get dialed in with how do we clean up our own mess, so to speak, our own trauma, our own um, wounded self, things in our lives that we let pass us by but didn't address, situations that have a charge to it. And life will bring us an experience to recognize where that is. And it's up to us to look within and say, okay, what part of this is me? Where is this in me? And how can I now go in there and clean it up and change the vibrational frequency of it? And as we do, we are all being called into building our light body, holding more light. As we let go of the dense vibrational frequency of these energies that are so intense, we will open ourselves up to more light, more love, and that will raise the vibration on the collective, where we're going to see it mirror out in our world. It's not easy. I've been through a lot in my life. I've lived through a lot of trauma and experiences that can leave you debilitated and flattened. So I'm speaking from a place of having to navigate the territory myself in a way that there were times I didn't know if I was going to make it through to the other side. But as I did, I was able to feel into the field and raise my vibrational frequency, change my outer life, and then watch the world around me shift. So it became my work on the planet. And I love it. I'm grateful to be doing this because together we are better. And when we do come together and we support one another and we work in a co-creative way, we will shift and we will raise our consciousness. We will shift the world around us. We will heal the planet in a way that we can't even imagine right now. But it's not the separation. It's coming together.
Yeah. And that's a trap that I was into. I've had many, many ups and downs in my life and didn't want to stay on the planet a few times. And so we're all, like you said, having to almost go through the death experience now, where we look at our lives. We do that life review because we are moving into a whole new world, and who we are being, the energy we're holding, the frequency of the thoughts, the type of things that we decide to go for, to put our energy on, is going to determine the world that we end up in. So this is another reason why doing your inner work, doing these healings, cleansing yourself, this is a cleanse. My friend, one of my good friends from college, had children before me. And when I had children, we were discussing it. I said, wow, you never told me that there were these really hard parts, you know? And she said, because when you want a baby, you don't listen. She said, but you know, being a parent is like being forged by fire into a beautiful Excalibur, you know, sword. And that's what we're going through now. This is being forged by fire, the breakdown and the breakthrough, right? The masculine energy that's exploding, that needs to be cleansed and released because it's been holding everything just like this. And we have to be this way for hundreds of years. And so when you think about the fact that we're all here right now, wow, and we're able to co-create this, we're able to choose what we're going to do to contribute to the transformation. So, okay, everyone. And I don't know if I introduced myself. So my name is Akasha from nanakasha.com. And this is Bliss Life Global Podcast. It's on the podcast and on iTunes. It's at my website. And also this will be on YouTube. And my YouTube channel is youtube.com/joyfulnan. And there's all the other interviews there and lots of other healings and things like that. So I hope you'll join and subscribe and join me tomorrow for the full moon, and join me next week for a few more co-created healings. So let's go ahead and dive in. If you've come on since we started, welcome. Lisa and I are going to co-create this healing for you so you can be somewhere relaxed. You can lay down, you can sit. It's best if you turn off all of your notifications on your phones and everything. And I'm going to turn off my Wi-Fi everywhere so I don't get interrupted. There we go. And relax. Do your best to come completely into this moment. Give yourself the next 30 to 45 minutes just for you. Let the world wait, and don't be checking your phone and listening to notifications if at all possible. All right. So I really do believe that this is a cleanse. And if you're familiar with the violet flame, the violet light of fire, the seventh ray of creation, a lot of people are familiar with this. It's been a very powerful ray on the planet. It's used for a lot of healings. It's a transmutational ray, and it transmutes karma, which means heavy energy attachments that we carry around that keep us repeating patterns, that keep dragging us down into guilt or dragging us down into lack or fear or whatever it is. And so that fire that we're feeling, that this we've raised up out of like fear and grief and even just all the way down to hopelessness, right? Because when we began the pandemic, and these waves are like waves of emotion releasing from the planet, releasing from the earth and the crystals and the waters and from our cells and from our DNA and from our thoughts. And we have this enormous collective consciousness. Every thought is a thing, every feeling exists. And so there's so much here that needs to be shed. So I want you to think about fire in terms of that high frequency flame that doesn't burn and hurt. It just, everything's gone, just like that, And so we're going to really invite that violet flame to come in today. Been talking to me on and off, so I'm like, okay. And it's really appropriate, and I might do some breathing as well or make some funny noises. Follow along with whatever you want. Enjoy, relax, don't judge what you experience, don't analyze it, just be in it, be in the flow, go with the flow. And I always recommend afterwards to write down as many things as you can remember, because sometimes you don't even know what it meant at the time. So okay, great. Then let me just check one more time, make sure. Hello, we've got some new people. All right, great. And then you can put a question or a share in the chat window, and when we're done, we're happy to answer any questions, give you feedback back on your experiences, and share. Okay? All right. I'm going to just making sure everybody's muted. Okay, perfect. Okay, Lisa, I'm going to leave you unmuted, but you're a host actually, so I'll just go ahead and mute you right now. And you can unmute when you're ready. All right. Wunderbar. So I have many, many friends here, and there's a few of them I'll share with you. This is there we go, a smoky quartz wand. What else? Who else wants to talk? This is a rose quartz heart, but it's very special. It's been programmed by one of my mentors from a mystery school with very powerful. And I want to share, because I won't be probably going deep into the Light Body Healing Council today, but they're here. This is so funny. Here we go. This is Thoth, and this is from Egypt. From my first trip to Egypt, when we had 222 people, we meditated for 4 hours at a time inside of the Great Pyramid and other temples. It was epic beyond belief. Hope we can do that again one day. And one of the things that's really important about his presence, or that presence of what he embodies, is that it's the doors to freedom. It's the doors to our higher enlightenment. So, okay, good. Anybody else? Ooh. So this is a obsidian. Oh, this is funny. Here we go. And also it's a replica of a giant Atlantean woman guardian. There's a whole bunch of them near Mexico City at an ancient Mayan site called Tula. And this butterfly, it's not easy to see, but they have a butterfly shield type thing on their chest, and a sun spiral on the back. And the butterfly on the chest is quite profound. Thank you. That's a great thing. I really believe we're in a metamorphosis right now. So the idea of letting your heart open like that, just opening your wings and freeing yourself from that cocoon, that pressure of being the old thing, being the old form, actually begin to embody. That's nice. Thank you. We're going to bring that energy in today. Okay, good. So get comfortable wherever you are. So as you relax into this moment, I want you to begin to expand your awareness. Just take your mind and your thoughts, and actually let's ask to be here now. So say that in your heart, be here now. That's a command to ask all of you to come back into this moment. The fears and the worries of the future or the past, the attachments, the agendas, be fully present here. Good. And now declare in your heart the command, be a clear and open channel. And you'll probably feel a wave or a ripple or some kind of shift move through you physically, mentally, emotionally in your chakras when you say these things, because you are giving a command to your entire being. Good, there we go. And one more, I want you to declare in your heart, be an excellent receiver. And feel that rippling out into your field. And to be a receiver, you relax a little bit deeper into the moment. You can't receive with your arms crossed, with your hands clenched, with your mind and heart closed and shut down. So simply allow those beautiful orders, those programs you've now put into your field to be here now, be a clear and open channel to your highest good, and to be an excellent receiver. And feel good. Just feel your field gently shifting. While those are moving through you, relaxing you and bringing you deeper into the moment, just decide right now to let all the other noises fade away and to enter the infinity healing chamber. Just sense that wherever you are sitting or laying right now, you begin to see, sense, and feel all around you this amazing chamber of light. Above and below you is a cone of golden light. A gold ray shining down, creating a cocoon as above, so below, and beaming over you, warm, gold, spiritual sunlight. The warmth of that gold ray. You feel it as if the sun is gently warming your skin. You feel it moving through your eyes and your brain, soothing and bringing messages, this conscious, powerful energy holds so many codes, so many passwords to you realigning and remembering your divinity, your purpose, and your optimal state. Keep tuning in and allowing that gold ray to speak to you, to soothe you, to relax you. And as you sense that, you feel and sense this divine loving energy. And you feel your movement, the movement in your field, as you're weaving back together the disconnected pieces of your soul's blueprint, the door to your purpose, and the feeling and sense of living aligned with your own soul signature frequency. Now the gold ray will continue to beam energy to you, to fill you, to help you release and shed, to bring you messages, and also like a vacuum to gently pull out, to pull away, to release all that no longer serves you, all that you're ready to leave behind. You can open your heart, your belly, even your sacral. You can open and give. Let go of all the thoughts, the beliefs, the emotions, the memories, the fears, the agreements and the karmic knots, all energy attachments that do not serve your greater good anymore. So say in your heart, I'm ready and willing to free myself from heavy emotions. I'm ready to give them into this chamber to allow the gold ray, the flower of life, the all-seeing eye, and the light body healing counsel to cleanse, clear, erase, release, uncover, unshackle, untie, unhook, unbutton, clear the heaviness. And then in your heart, I'm ready and willing to release, remember, receive, and renew. Release, remember, receive, and renew. And now you're going to sense, see, and feel that you are wrapped in the all-seeing eye. The eye of God, the eye of Ra, the eye of Horus, the representation of omniscience, of connection to all that is, was, will be, all things that exist simultaneously, all things in form, and all things divine, and to the infinite field, to every dimension. Everything is one. So feel and relax into this beautiful chamber. Feel the clarity, the unconditional love. Feel the cleansing and movement and flow beginning as the Light Body Healing Council weaves away all that you're ready and willing to release. And now expand your awareness out to the edges of this divine glowing chamber and see this sphere of the white light, flower of life, all around us, all around you, encompassing the all-seeing eye, encompassing the golden cone of light above and below you, encompassing you, your higher self, your I am presence, and your body elemental. All of you here now declare in your heart, I'm open and receptive. To let go, release, to trust and rise to my optimal state for me at this time. Now tune in and sense the Light Body Healing Council all around you. There's Kuan Yin and Saint Germain, Thoth, Isis and Horus, the dolphins, the elementals, Kuku Khan, the serpent who shows you how to shed the old and emerge back to your wings, to your spirit. To Merlin, to show you how to remember to alchemize the negative emotions, to alchemize. You are a master of transmutation. And Gaia, thank you, Gaia. You begin to feel a flow into your heart, a flow from the heart of Gaia coming up into yours. And you feel a flow coming down from above, from the divine, infinite field of unconditional pure love. And this love from below and love from above blends in your heart and begins to swirl the yin, the yang, the masculine, the feminine, the spiritual, the material, the peace and the anger, the fear and the joy. Feel the duality, the all that is blending within you and releasing, cleansing and clearing your heart. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Feel that light and energy pouring over your brain and through your body, cleansing, clearing, releasing. And the swirling continues. You let that breath go like a wave. Your feet chakras open and you feel tons of heaviness and past agreements and old outdated beliefs pouring through your feet. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Feel it expanding into your mind, cleansing your emotions, and then pouring through your house, through your town, through your country, and down into Gaia as you let it go. And take one more deep breath in and feel that you are the center, the transformer, where the above and below meet, and declare, I am light, I am love, I am flow, and let that breath go. Feel yourself at infinity, light and floating, the gold ray, the flower of life, the healing council, and those guides that are here for your highest good, all working and moving. And now the violet flame comes in and it immerses this entire chamber with an infusion of the violet light of fire. Receive it, invite it, thank it, open to it, relax deeper into the flow. And allow the violet flame to work to cleanse and clear from your tiniest cellular memory and your DNA to your blood and your bone and your mind and your brain and your chakras and your subtle bodies, and out through your emotional field into your life, your bank account, and your relationships. Let this chamber and this light cleanse, clear, heal, and fill you up as Lisa takes us to live in grace, ease, and flow.
All right, so now, thank you so much, Akasha. That was beautiful. I want everyone to see that we're grounded and our energy is purified in a very significant way. That was beautiful. I want everyone to just feel around them a sphere of compassion. And the sphere of compassion is vibrating at the frequency of love and above. So it's a high vibrational frequency of love and above. And I want you to see yourself sitting in the center of this sphere of compassion. And say out loud or to yourself, I am all there is. I am all there is. I am all that is. I am the creator of my reality and the source of my creation. And this is going to pull in all of you into this sphere of compassion. And just in front of you, I want you to see a smaller sphere. And we're going to start to release dense vibrational energy within our cellular system. What is hidden, what is operating at a subconscious level, we are going to use the sphere just in front of us to release this energy. And we're going to blow with our breath. Just visualize it, see it, feel it, and use your breath to move this energy out. And I'm just going to guide you through it. The sphere of compassion in front of you can grow as big as you need it to. So it will expand with you through the release of this dense frequency. So let's take the energy of anger anywhere and everywhere that we are experiencing anger within our cellular structure, within our physical, mental, and emotional body. Let's just release anger now into the sphere of compassion in front of us. Just see it blow up like a balloon. Anywhere and everywhere that we have resistance to flowing with the divine within us, anywhere and everywhere that we are in resistance to ourselves and to flowing with divine in an up spiral way, let's release that now into the sphere of compassion. You see it as energy moving out of your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies now. And now let's release any hidden shame and guilt. Anywhere that we're experiencing shame and guilt, we want to release that now into the sphere of compassion. See it releasing from your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies. Across all time, space, dimensions, and realities for you, all this energy is being cleared and released at a cellular level into the sphere of compassion. And let's now release fear. Anywhere and everywhere we're experiencing any type of fear, doubt, worry. Just see it as energy. See this energy of fear, doubt, and worry being released from your physical, mental, and emotional bodies now, filling up the sphere of compassion. Beautiful. So let's just take a look at that sphere out in front of us, and I want you to see the energy that you've released into this sphere. Is it a color? Is it dense? Just feel into the energy of the sphere of compassion in front of you that's holding all of this that we've just cleared and released. And I want you to drop down into your heart, And we're going to open up the heart chakra. And I want you to send a beam of infinite love light energy from your heart into the sphere of compassion now. Just see it as a radiant beam of light. Give it a color and allow that sphere of that ray of light from your heart chakra to enter the sphere of compassion. And as it does, the energy in the sphere of compassion will start to destabilize and break down. And you start to recognize and witness this sphere of compassion and the energy in there moving faster and faster as this love light energy. We're going to love this energy up to a high vibration of love and above now. So just see the energy moving faster and faster and faster and faster until the energy is moving so fast you can't even see it any longer. We're transmuting this energy of density into love, high vibrational love energy. Beautiful. And when that sphere of compassion has been transformed into this high vibration of love, it will take on a very light, bright, illuminated color, almost like a glistening clear color of light. So just sit with that now. Sit with that sphere of compassion as you've loved this energy up. And we're going to bring that sphere into our heart. And I want you to bring this beautiful radiant sphere of love light energy now into your heart. We're going to flow it out through every cell of your being, through your physical, mental, and emotional and spiritual bodies now, filling up all the places where we release dense energy. We're going to replenish with this love energy now, filling up every cell of our being. And now I just want you to take a moment and just see in front of you the path before you. And I want you to take that energy of love and send some of that energy out into the path before you. And see that path before you illuminate with love and step onto that path. And know that as you move forward in your life from this day forward, the path before you is filled with love. You are a radiant love light being of divine love, stepping onto the path before you, creating and co-creating a life filled with love, ease, and flow. Allow grace to step through you, through your heart, onto this path before you. And know that everything is going to unfold for you in a way that supports your highest and best good at all times. You're co-creating with the divine within you a life of love, ease, and flow. All right, Akasha, if you want to add to that, we'd love that.
Beautiful, beautiful. Keep relaxing and feeling that shining light and love sphere, that energy moving, going all the way into the DNA. The DNA has little switches and can be turned on and off. And the blueprint that you came with is not the one that you have now. You've changed. And this is a moment of change. So as you feel that flow, relax deeper into it. Allow the love and light mixed with your soul's purpose, your unique soul signature frequency to flow down the path into your time space continuum, into that path ahead of you in this particular timeline in life. And light it up and saturate it and see it coming to life like Dorothy going from black and white to color. Relax more into the flow. Just watch, receive, be in wonder like a child. Feel and sense with all of your 360 senses. And give your permission now to your DNA, to your current energy structure, the current beliefs and neural pathways in your brain, the current reactions, the current decisions and obligations, your perspectives, your meanings. Just give them permission and gratitude to dissolve and flow with this divine love, to bring their wisdom and power, and to release the parts that hold you back or keep you down or unclear, and let it saturate down into your DNA and begin a beautiful communication. What switches can flip you into the path of love, peace, happiness, self-worth, harmony, compassion, prosperity, abundance, joy? Give your permission and then let go and be in the flow. Lisa?
Beautiful. So now let's anchor this energy in, really call it into action for us in a way that supports us moving forward in our lives. So you could repeat after me to yourself or out loud. Anchor, lock and seal. Recalibrate, align. Balance and harmonize for graceful integration and full expression across all time, space, dimensions, and realities. All waves and particles I am. So be it and so it is. All right, Akasha, thank you.
So as you're sensing and feeling, relaxing and receiving this energy to go out just the way Lisa described, see how much ease you can sink into. How many more levels of tension, holding on, analyzing, overwhelm, feeling responsible for everything and everyone. Just ease in like you're sinking very slowly into a very soft, comfortable bed. And you let go a little deeper and a little more. You feel completely supported, surrounded, enveloped in this soft, warm embrace. And sink deeper. Feel as if this beautiful love, light, is Gaia's loving arms. And you're sinking deeper into her bosom, into her lap, into her arms. Allow yourself to surrender completely. And feel the immense power, love, and beauty of the infinite field around you, within you. I am one. We are one. And deeper and deeper you go into the very core of the crystal liquid heart of Gaia, Mother Earth. And like in a dark womb, surrounded with warmth, nourished, fed, loved, adored, seen. Breathe it in, receive it. Allow it to go to the deepest, darkest corners and move out from you. Feel as if this womb, this heart of our sister and mother and our home is pulling from you, detoxing the rest of these energies and the ways that you experience them that no longer serve you. And feel the love as deeply as you can. Receive, drink, digest, absorb, infuse. And as you absorb and receive it more and more and more and more and more, you feel yourself growing and expanding. Like a little seedling, you're beginning to take shape and take form and expand, and your energy is magnetically glowing. You feel it going out from you. It's a pure light. It's inconsistent and constant flow with grace, trust, compassion, harmony. And now it's flowing to you and becoming a part of you, and you are one with the heart of Gaia and with all of us here in this heart. The heart of the center of this planet begins to beat stronger, more powerful, expanding out. You feel it moving through the lava, the dirt, the oil, the shale, the fossils. You feel it moving and emanating, pulsing your heart, my heart, our hearts, her hearts. One heart, out through the crystal caves, out through the little animals and plants embedded in Gaia's body. Everything now glowing and pumping. Together we are one, one heart, one mind, one earth. Out now you feel our powerful energies explode from the crust of the planet. And it's pouring now faster and faster through you. You're expanding. You're a channel of light and love. You're being the transformer of divine energy into form, the perfect balance of light and dark, above and below, within and without. And you feel it moving through the roots and the trees and the waters and the dirt. You see it moving into the air and the animals, the insects, the clouds, the moon, the stars, and through the people, through their bodies and their light bodies. And just for a moment, the whole planet pauses. Feel the stillness while this deep river, this flow of grace, ease, and love continues to pour to you, through the planet, through everyone. And we take a moment of silence to allow and accept where we are, who we are, what's happening, and accept this new energy, this new message, this new code, this new cleanse. And see how the light from within you, from the infinite and the void and all that is brighter and stronger than ever before, beaming out in every direction, 360 degrees through the planet and through each form on the planet. The people become beams of light. The buildings, trees, animals, plants become beams of light. And those beams of light go out into the infinite field and gather the perfect energies for you at this time. And now you see and feel them coming back. Each person, the perfect cup of light, the elixir that is optimal for them at this time, coming back down through these beams of light into people, trees, buildings, everything down. And now, like acupuncture needles through each being in form on the planet, down, down, down into the heart of Gaia. Relax and feel the flow and declare, put your hand on your heart. I am that I am. I am light, I am love, I am flow. I am infinite. I am the transformer of divine energy, and I am now aligned more purely and permanently with my soul's blueprint. My purpose pulses through my veins, and I accept, I accept, I accept. Breathe in. Put your hands together in front of your heart. Hold that energy and breath in your heart. Fill it with your gratitude. 3, 2, 1. Explode it out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now rub your hands up your arms. Give yourself a hug. Bring them up. Caress your face gently. And put your hands with your palms over your eyes. Just hold them there as you anchor this flow, this cleansing, this grace, this connection, this love into your eyes, into your pituitary, into your third eye chakra, into your pineal, your crown, and your brain. And let it ripple out from there. Tap on the top of your head and just anchor this in. Awaken that crown. Feel and see those beams of light coming out from you. feel and sense that you are this clear and open channel for light coming from the infinite field down into the earth, and for the energy coming up from the earth and out. And wiggle your toes, your feet, your arms, your hands, fingers, and come fully into your body. Bring yourself, sit down in those pelvic bones like a Buddha. Sink into your body and take a moment to just feel the movement, the difference in your clarity, the energy you're emanating. Decide to believe it, to choose it, to live it, to be it. I am that I am, Ea Escher Ea. I am a transformer of emotion and density. I am a transmuter of essence, ether, and akasha. I am the divine feminine creator and destructor. I am the divine masculine builder and protector. Feel that balance and relax. So we'll take a moment of quiet to allow you to fully integrate back into this moment. Respect this deep process you've been through and share with us. You can unmute, you can type something in the chat. It's raining here and I can hear it dripping and drizzling and dropping and washing, and it feels like the most beautiful cleanse.
Mhm.
Oh,
I have a small thing to say.
yes, please.
I mean, that was a big thing, but there was a small moment in it that was really amusing to me, which is that when we were first doing the part with Lisa, where we were going out along the, well, not at the end of the part with Lisa, where we were going out on the road, I saw this big, like the scene in the movie The Wizard of Oz, only it was like this whole bunch of diamond, like I was walking on like raw diamond, but there was like this, I wasn't walking on the diamonds, I was walking on the air above the diamonds. And then like 5 minutes later, when we were back on the Akasha part of it, you started talking about Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. And I was like, stop it. I loved that that happened.
Yeah, well, when you said that, I was like, that's what I saw too. Oh, yeah. Very beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah, Lisa, I know for me, when the energy moved through and you had the sphere of compassion come in and then open that path, it was like the Wizard of Oz, like a dirt road or yellow brick road or something like that. And but I remember stopping and thinking, oh, I've been here before, like I was expecting something new. And then it just became more vibrant, I think, right? And more glowing.
Well, and I'll add that my visual was Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz as well.
Stop it! Get telepathy. Thank you.
I love it. This is the kind of thing that happens, right? When we get together in a sacred space and we're all one. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful.
And I think it's so important for all of us to recognize how connected we are. And that when we are really taking care of our own side of the street and cleaning it up and raising our vibration and maintaining our energy, it cannot not ripple out. It's it's going to impact the world, and then we just experienced that. I mean, I love that visual of the road, the path before us, and we get to pre-pave it with our energy and our intention. And love is the highest vibrational field, so let's play there.
Yeah. Well, and that's what's so important is the balance between honoring what we're feeling, respecting when we're in grief, when we're here for the roller coaster. So we're not going to be like, oh, I used to think I had to be like skipping with the daisies all the time, right? And otherwise I was doing it wrong. And we're here to play in all of these, but not to be controlled by them, right? And so when you do this kind of work, or you do like Lisa said, you like, what is the path before me? Something I recommend for everybody is to take time when you do an experience or meditation, whether you're alone or in a group or whatever it is, at the end, anchoring in that new frequency is going to be different. It's going to feel lighter or different, or you don't feel bothered by your mother anymore, or whatever it is. And so you have to get used to it. If you project and see yourself with your mom, or interacting in whatever way would normally trigger you to the old way, and you mentally rehearse that, you see it, or you allow yourself to just feel and move into that, oh, look what it's like now. And then you practice anchoring that every day. A few minutes when you wake up, see your path before you. If it's blocked, if it's clogged, if it's heavy, if it's whatever, then breathe this in, reconnect to this again, and let that light sphere, right? That sphere of compassion move out and light your path. Remember that it's there. Say, what's there for me today? What wonderful things are going to happen today? And if it's not wonderful, if it feels heavy or scary, then just be, okay, this is what's optimal for me at this time, is to release that fear. So I'm going to pick it up like a little baby that I left there and I forgot about, right? And say, oh, yes, I remember you. Come here. Let's bring you back into the love. Let's bring you back into this light, and transform that job of keeping me in fear, or keep holding my voice back, or whatever it is, into empowering my voice, or helping me see when I go into anger. Anger is not a really common emotion for me, but when I went through my divorce, there was a lot of anger coming up, and I was taught anger was inappropriate. A lot of women were, I think, who were not allowed to feel it. So it both felt wrong to experience it and acknowledge I had it. Felt made me feel guilty and bad. And it also felt so heavy that I knew I couldn't go any further without accepting it. I couldn't just keep shoving it down here and dragging it around with me. And so I actually told my soulmate, Chris, who I was living with at the time, you need to leave the house for the day so I can allow my anger to come out. Well, it took way longer than a day. But that giving myself that space, it's okay, right? And let that come up. So don't try to immediately change a heavy or negative energy or environment. Just be with it. And then you have this sphere of compassion and light, right? I'm just going to share a little bit. Thank you, Rio said. Thanks a lot from Gada. Nancy says, thank you for this cleansing. I was needing some ease and grace for my ease and grace. New paradigm for me. We all need that. Remember, oh, we can do this in the flow. It's not the hard work we were conditioned with. Remember, we are one of the last generations that have been programmed with, we have to work hard. The harder we work, the better person we are. the more we suffer and struggle, the more approval we get. We were conditioned that way. And so when it is ease and grace and we're in flow and we wait for it to come to us rather than force it to happen, it feels weird. And so we do need some more ease and grace to get in that flow, right? And Shea said, thank you, Nan and Lisa, for this amazing opportunity to release and get in tune with my inner self. Truly amazing butterfly effect. Ooh, yay, butterfly effect, right? Yeah. Oh, so Lisa, you want to share anything else?
You know, I think this has just been so beautiful. I felt the energy just moving significantly through this journey that we were on. Beautiful. And thank you, Akasha, for bringing your gifts to all of us. I mean, that was profound. But the winds were picked up significantly, and it was interesting because I could feel it. I could feel it rushing through my system during this meditation. I kept opening my eyes because it was very strong. So I share that because I know that we have a lot of energy impacting the planet right now. The solar flares are intense. We're all being impacted energetically with some pretty significant energy through that's clearing. It's clearing our system of the denser, lower vibrational field so we can actually build and hold more light, building our light bodies so that we can literally operate on the planet like acupuncture needles. You know, where we're anchored in and we're holding the light and it's rippling out. So we will change it by changing and holding ourselves at a higher vibration. So thank you. Just wanted to share that.
Thank you too, sweetie. It's so much fun. The minute I met Lisa, the minute I saw her, I loved her. I was like, oh, I love this lady. I got to find her. And so I'm so glad we got to create together. PK Jen asked if you could read something. If you can unmute yourself, go for it.
Okay. I just looked up the intro to Somewhere Over the Rainbow because I knew not the song, but the intro, because I'm a singer and I knew that there was something in there. When all the world is a hopeless jumble and the raindrops tumble all around, heaven opens a magic lane. When all the clouds darken up the skyway, there's a rainbow highway to be found, leading from your window pane to a place behind the sun, just a step beyond the rain.
Wow. Oh, I got goosebumps.
Me too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So
Thank you.
Isn't that amazing? You know, that really the whole Oz thing and how we have that in common now. If we have or had any younger people on here, they may or may not know it, but my soulmate had never seen it. He didn't have like a normal childhood. He grew up with wolves in Alaska, so he was doing his own groovy thing, but he had never seen The Wizard of Oz. He didn't know any of that stuff. And it's a huge deal for me. It is such a magical thing. It is so embedded in my consciousness from, you know, being the age that I am and being raised with that, and what that represents, like what you were saying, the meaning, the feeling, the representation of it, you know, that you can go over the rainbow, that magic does exist, you know, that you have the power within you, right, to go where you want to go, click your little magic shoes, and all of that. I was just remembering at my very first live event, I think, gosh, I don't know how many years ago, it was over 10 years ago, and I did some talk that I think actually might be on my YouTube channel. Boy, it'd be old if it was, but suddenly, and this was like not planned, a whole thing about the Wizard of Oz came through, this whole, you know, deciphering the meaning of it and all this other stuff around it. And I love that idea right now, not to escape where we are, but like with the raindrops coming, they're just pouring down right now in here, with that ability to understand, like what we've been talking about, even with what you perceive is happening around you. The gloom, the doom, the winds of change, the rains, the violence, the fear, whatever, there's always, just because you can't right now see that rainbow, right? And that other, that is so wonderful, honey. Would you, what is that called? How do we find that? Or would you be able
It's
to?
just the intro to the to Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So I just looked up lyrics for the
Oh,
intro.
lyrics. Okay.
It's
I'm going to
it's
look that
written
up.
by it's written by Harold Arlen. So
Wow. Thank you, Harold.
really.
How fun. All righty then. So thank you so much, Lisa. Would you like to say anything to close? Any kind of a blessing or anything for us?
Um, the thing I just want to say is to remember who we are. Remember the truth of who we are. And we really are that powerful of a creator that we have the ability to shift the energy and shift our vibrational frequency. And when we do that through managing our spiritual, mental, and emotional bodies, our mindset, in a way that I always say discipline is the key to freedom. And when we can be so disciplined in the information that we allow ourselves to be surrounded by, and really use discernment on this journey forward, because it's going to continue to amp up. We are in it, and we're going to be navigating it in whatever way it presents. But we have the power to come together and shift it significantly by being disciplined in how we play in it. So, it's so important. I don't watch the news. I know that whenever something I'm supposed to receive comes to me, I get to check in with myself at that time. If there's a trigger there, then I get to do some work around it for myself. If anger presents or if fear presents, then I know it's my storyline, it's my stuff. I take responsibility for it. I go within and find out the origination of that energy so I could clean it up on my side. But if something presents and I'm clean on it, or I'm neutral, there's no charge. I don't need to dive into the story of it. So we're learning to manage our energy and everything moving forward. This is the last thing I really, really want to say. We can't intellectualize this journey. It is navigating it through the heart. And we have to drop into our heart center and say, okay, what would love do? In this situation, what would love do? And that's how we will be navigating life moving forward with ease and flow. And anytime we are in the fear program and the intellect of trying to analyze and figure it out, and it's a daily discipline. I know I got to check in with myself every day. It's easy to get spun out in the intensity of the energy, and we're all feeling it significantly. So what would love do has become my way of navigating life. What would love do? Thank you so much for having me with you on the show and for being present with all of you today. And together we're better.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yes, I know. What would love do? Absolutely. And if the very best you can do and you're overwhelmed by emotions is go lay down, do the acceptance process. Just be like, oh, I'm feeling this anger. Okay, boy, there's anger. There's more anger. Okay, I'm being very, whatever it is, and see if it can move through you. There's a lot of power in being in, but not being owned by the energies. And I agree with Lisa. I haven't watched the news in just eons and eons. And yet I do hear things. I do find out things. And when they do filter through to me, I immediately do Ho'oponopono, which is a cleansing, clearing, and erasing process. Because if I'm aware of it, I'm a part of it. And so releasing what you hear, if you feel plugged in, if you're living around people who talk about it, if you're in a space where there's the TV is on all the time, make sure you unplug and give yourself a space to feel love, to charge up. One thing that's very interesting, if you've ever studied the masters, so all the different people that we consider masters, whether it's Buddha or Jesus or Saint Germain or whoever, all these different people, they spent from very young often their time mastering their energy field, charging it up, so that when someone said, can you heal me? They didn't heal them. They just had peace. They had wholeness. They had love. They had harmony in their field. And they didn't have to get it and give it to that person. There was no effort. There was no time. There was no need. It was just, I've been practicing charging my field, clearing my field, being this. And sure, I'll just envelop you in it. I will raise you to that. And you can do that for yourself too. So you're going to have this is going to be on YouTube. If you want to get the whole series and have all these in one place, it's nanakasha.com/BlissLife Global Healing. You'll get Lisa's interview and her gift and all the other speakers and all the live healings in one place. And if you just want to go to YouTube, that's cool too. And if you would share this with anybody you think would love it, I want to get this spread as far as possible, because this is an opportunity. As Miten said when we were talking on the interview, don't waste a good crisis. Take opportunity to go deep and to come out the butterfly. So let's take a moment and we'll close the circle. So let's just saturate ourselves. I don't know if you can hear my rain, but it is saturated here. We are so saturated. And let's feel like that is liquid frequency of gratitude. And we're just it's pouring over us and through us, and you're starting to receive it and send it to yourself. Say thank you to yourself for being here, for doing this, for caring, for opening your mind, for being willing to be one of the pioneers on this journey of recreating the earth. And then send that gratitude out to Lisa, and let's just envelop her in the biggest hug. And gratitude is full of light and bubbles and full color spirals and infinite flow. And the flow detaches and raises you up into that peace and beauty. And then send it to everyone here in this infinity healing chamber, and anyone who's going to come in through the recording, which is completely encoded. And now send it up to your highest selves and down into Gaia and out to the Light Body Council and to the Gold Ray, the All-Seeing Eye, Flower of Life, Spherical Consciousness, and all that is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We give great thanks for this moment, this gathering, this cleansing, and this healing. We ask that this love and light live within us in our hearts and go with every breath, every touch, every step, every thought. That we spread this and help all of those, our brothers, our sisters, our fellow travelers, all one, all source, to rise to a level where we are one and we are living as the creators from our hearts. One heart, one mind, one world. May this circle be open yet unbroken, and the peace and healing go with us in our hearts. Namaste.
Namaste.
Okay, thanks everyone. That was a nice, juicy, long one. Noelle said, funny, the other day, for the first time ever, I hear someone play the guitar on his balcony, and he was playing the Oz song Over the Rainbow. I love it. PK says, thank you both and all. And Noelle says, love it. Don't waste a good crisis. I know. Don't waste it. You never know when this will come along again. Instead of wishing it would all go away, right? Oh, all right, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Nana Kasha here from nanakasha.com and Lisa Wilson from
RadicallyAuthenticYou.com.
Perfect. Yay. Okay. So Yay, thank you. Gratitude is pink champagne. I know. I used to do these visualizations where we would get in a giant glass of champagne and feel the bubbles. We
Nice.
should do that. All right, everyone. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank
Lots
you.
of love. Lots of love to everybody and hugs.
Lots of love to all of you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.